Hello, all the sweet little children out there. For this story, I titled it Rainbow the Little Chick, and here's the story. Heather was the youngest in her family. She had two older brothers, then an older sister than herself. She had fun camping out with her older sister Hannah in the summer. They were lovers of nature and animals. They listened to the crickets sweetly making beautiful melodies. Sweet lambs could be seen in the fields next to their garden. They would leap and sing with joy. The sunlight would beam happily through the woodlands in the morning dawn light. Little Heather woke up before Hannah. She went indoors and her mum fed her some porridge. Her mum plaited her beautiful long red hair, and she went on to put on her beautiful blue lace dress, even though her mum was worried that she might get it dirty. Her mum kissed her goodbye. Little Heather went happily skipping through a field of the lambs. They were chewing the grass with their mums. Eventually she reached a very overgrown shrubbery. It had shrubs and nettles blocking the path into the woodlands. There was a hole in the shrubs. Hannah managed to peek through the hole. She saw birds in their nests feeding the chicks, worms, crickets, and mosquitoes. She smiled with delight, but sighed again, knowing that she could not get a closer look. Heather looked down. The path was muddy, but that was okay because she was wearing her light green Wellington boots. Heather looked around to see a farmer who had a beard behind her. He smiled. "Would you like to have a closer look at the birds?" Heather smiled. "Yes, please." The farmer got out a sharp sickle and hacked away the overgrown shrubs and nettles. There was now a free path to gaze at the nest. They both walked over, and the farmer showed Heather one of the nests. Heather smiled in delight. But then they heard chirping coming from the ground. Heather asked, "Where is that chirping coming from?" The farmer replied, "Look." As he pointed to the ground, Heather asked, "Can I pick her up?" The farmer replied, "Yes, but put these gloves on first, as her mum will not want her back if she has been touched by human hands." Heather puzzled. Why would her own mother reject her? The farmer replied, "Sadly, that is just the way it is in nature. So put these gloves on." Heather nodded and put on the gloves that the farmer handed to her. She picked up the little chick in her hands and gently cradled her. The farmer smiled. "She seems to like you." Heather nodded and smiled. Then the farmer took out a magnifying glass from his pocket. He put it right up to his eyes. The farmer's eyes looked massive to Heather, and she asked, "What is wrong with her?" The farmer replied, "I think her brothers and sisters pushed her out of the nest, and her mum rejected her." Heather's heart sank. She sniffed. "Poor little thing." Heather put her arm around the farmer, and they studied the little chick together. The farmer said, "I'm afraid her little wing is injured. We need the vet to look at it." She ran back home with the farmer. He knocked on the door. Heather's mum came to answer the door. She said, "Thank you for bringing her back." He replied, "No problem." Hannah looked over her mum's shoulder. Heather smiled. "Look what I found, Mum. Please can we keep her?" Hannah interrupted. "Please, Mum." Then Mum said, "We will take her to the vet, but once her wing is fixed, we ought to set her free again." Heather and Hannah smiled and nodded. "Yes, Mum." That evening they took the little bird to the vet, and the next morning she had her operation and her little wing was mended. Heather and Hannah's mum took the little bird back home and let her free. The little bird was full of light. Heather and Hannah would sit outside on their patio and wait for the little bird to come back, but they had not seen her all day, until one evening Heather's brother Connor was listening to his music in his bedroom. A little tapping noise on his window was heard. Connor smiled. "It's our little bird." He then opened the window to let her in. Connor called Hannah, and Heather pleaded, "Please can we keep her, Mum?" Her mum replied, "Just for tonight, then we will let her go again." Hannah and Heather nodded their heads. "Yes, Mum." Hannah then smiled. I'm going to name her Rainbow, because if you look out of the window, there is a beautiful rainbow outside. And there sure was, and you could see little droplets of water that were reflecting in the sunlight. The next day they let her go again. Rainbow flew high in the beautiful blue skies. The evening came, and the eldest brother Shane was building a model for his school project in their kitchen. Rainbow was on the branches of the tree outside their kitchen window. She was flapping her wings. Shane let her in and said, "She is still a tiny bird. Maybe we do need to take care of her after all." The mum agreed, and they built an aviary for Rainbow. Days, weeks, and months went past quickly until another year arrived. The family were constantly giving her a diet of insects, worms, and berries, until one day Hannah thought that Rainbow should be free. So she went to her aviary and opened its door and let her out, where she was free, flying high in the sky. Heather was furious with Hannah and snapped, "You are my sister and best friend. How could you do this?" Hannah explained, "Rainbow is a big bird and needs to be free." But all that day and night, Heather refused to talk to her sister, even though her parents and brothers tried to get them to forgive each other. Days went by, and Hannah still held a grudge against Hannah, until one day Rainbow made a surprise appearance. Not only was she back, but she had brought back her brothers and sisters. Heather thought of how terrible Rainbow had been treated, and that if Rainbow could forgive, so should she. Heather and Hannah forgave each other and hugged each other, and from that point, Rainbow they just let her be free. They just let her be free from that day, and Rainbow became a regular visitor with her brothers and sisters. The end. So I hope you all enjoyed that story. It's one where it shows how forgiveness is important. We have misunderstandings, and we sometimes even do wrong to each other, but if we can find it in our hearts to love and forgive each other and move on, and everything, can still be friends with that person, and God will smile down out of heaven and everything. So anyway, I hope you all enjoyed, and God bless you.